Now you're proposing a 20-cent higher property rate than Prince William's proposed budget. Why should I live in Stafford? The same tax increase is taking food from the mouth of the children whose very education we are trying to improve.
Inflation has already raised prices for houses, vehicles. Over time, that will increase your tax revenues.
Yeah, we had a movie theater and a choir. This is a long-standing problem. This didn't happen overnight. And so you can't fix it overnight. You have to take measured approaches in even steps to facilitate that.
Get with Dr. Taylor and say, hey, what do we rank today? If we give you the money you asked for, what amongst all the things that go into ranking is going to change in the positive direction so that we start moving up the ladder in terms of ranking in our school system, so that we can bend this trajectory and get us where we are from now to a higher ranking in the in the state.
I ask you, Board of Supervisors, to please try to be creative. Please try to prioritize the spending to figure out a way to make this work for the schools. Our ESOL program does not have the resources or the staff that we need to teach our children. And the proof of that is in the fact that we failed our audit last year. We failed a very important audit that says that we are legally not in compliance for our students. Okay, if the board members would love to come, please be prepared to be down and dirty, because I sit on the floor. I don't have a chair. I don't have a classroom.
I'm here to tell you, I do not want another real estate tax increase, especially so soon after the last one. And I definitely don't want one at $1.17, $1.10, or even $1. I think we should say no to more large raises. I've been here 23 years, and I don't think the schools will ever be satisfied with what we give them. Even when we fully fund them, they say it's not enough. They spend 86% of their budget this year on salaries and benefits. That's where the money's going. Their appetite is insatiable. The sense of entitlement is staggering.
There's a number of teachers that were talking about how they need to be able to have their salaries increased to be able to live in the county. I don't think a lot of that is going to be possible with the advertised rate that you are proposing.
And I am chairman of the Stafford County Republican Committee. I received our school superintendent email to Stafford families yesterday, but he managed to undermine his own budget request by suggesting that he didn't ask for enough funding to keep the lights on or keep the buses rolling. He also insulted every supervisor to sit on this board and every parent in Stafford County in the past 12 years by suggesting that we view our children's welfare as up for debate. In addition, he insulted every citizen of Stafford County by holding up Prince William as a thriving county and Stafford as a weak one. I would never give up Stafford's weaknesses to gain what he considers Prince William's strengths.
This board needs to make the county schools their first priority.
Hearing everything that's been said, I need to be praying for you more than I have been. We no longer have that many of young adults, so we downsized, and we now live in half the house. I was a little bit dismayed that my property taxes didn't go down comparable with the square footage.
Both of us with over 20 years of service to the United States Air Force. But I guess I'm wearing red for Ed because of that. You have to invest heavily in your people, your facilities, and your equipment, all three. You don't get to pass that buck if you want to fly, fight, and win.
And the tax increase is crazy. That's nuts, jumping up 32 cents. I'm going to tell you that right now. I didn't get a pay raise at $1,331 this year. I don't know who else here did. If you did, come on over, see me. I'll take care of you. But I want to know where this money is supposed to come from, because you look around and we look at Prince William County, they're at $1.03. Fairfax is $1.10. And by the way, they've been dropping their rate over the past couple of years. And where's this magic money tree so I can go shake it? Because I need to get a couple dollars out of that bad boy.
Every time I drive past a new development, I'm like, okay, we don't have the schools. And yet, there's talks of putting trailers up. This to me sounds also like slapstick education. You know, we're hearing children that are having to sit outside of classrooms, teachers that are talking about not having chairs. Like, what is happening here?
Stafford County School Board has a piece of property on Cliff Farm Road that they purchased in 2006. It was for the purpose of a high school. It's 179 acres. It was $4.3 million. You can correct that for the record, but it was purchased to build a high school. A lot of research was done to build this school, but then after it was purchased, it was found out that it could not be used for a high school. And with the Stafford County School Board and potentially special interest groups asking for a lot more money, it makes me wonder how well it's going to be used.
I don't want to pay more taxes, but I'm willing to for my kids. I think it's important for us to find the money, and I think it's really important for us to pinch pennies where we can, and I don't think that's public safety, and I don't think that's our education.
We've heard people come tonight and say that they support good schools, but we'll have to find some other way to pay for them. But we all know that, frankly, you have a limited toolbox, and there isn't really an alternative.
First, let me say I've enjoyed the history and political lessons I've received from our speakers tonight. They've ranged from enlightening to inappropriate. I think it's disingenuous to act like the necessity of a new school was a surprise to anyone here. I'm a teacher that was a recipient of those decent raises we got last year, but my child is still eligible for free lunch. Thank you.
You've heard lots of people. As a matter of fact, an overwhelming number of the people who spoke tonight have begged, asked, and pleaded that you fully support the superintendent's school budget. And I'm here to add the voice of the NAACP. You know we are. You know, as an organization for over 100 years, we have supported education for students in Virginia and in the country. So I add my voice asking that you consider deeply fully supporting Superintendent Taylor's budget for the upcoming school year.
Our son goes to Drew Middle School, and that's been a concerning learning environment. The teachers do the very best with what they have, but it's not 21st century learning without even a proper science lab, unless you consider the school the science lab, because they have the oozing leaks and the smells that are mysterious, and then, of course, the cockroaches. And it seems that Stafford has some catching up to do in how we fund our schools.
Emily.
Is
Matthew here?
He's not. I don't know if I can read something he wrote or not. We have kids, and it's 10:40 at night. So, okay, I'll try to get them both in 3 minutes. So, I obviously love my children. All parents do. So school is one part of raising children. There's many other parts, and we're taking away from those other parts and the parents' ability to take care of their children, seniors' ability, as you've heard tonight, to stay in their homes and to take care of themselves when we cut into their family budget with these tax increases. In these extraordinarily times, I don't think anybody said it. I don't think we should be talking about an increase at all. I think at a time when we have had to suffer through as individuals, cutting our budget so that we could make ends meet, I think government should do the same just until we get through this time. Failure to plan is a plan to fail.
My lieutenant colonel, when I was in 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines, had something on his desk, and it said, "Don't confuse efforts with results." We need to find a result, not an excuse to work together.
I am the result and a success because of a public school system. When my great-grandkids go to school, whether they are in this county or another county, I hope the parents there and the population there has ensured there is a valid and functional public school system. Please don't put yourself in a position that you can't make one for Stafford County tomorrow.
Have I seen you here before?
Yes, you have. But they said there's a separate
I'm
meeting
just
for
kidding. Go ahead.
budget and for the tax increases. I support what you're doing, and I understand it, and I understand the needs for it. But I also would expect some accountability. And right now, for raising taxes, it just isn't the time.
There is no end to this process.
I would also suggest to you that if 15 years ago, they knew what the county would look like today, that their decision-making processes would have been different. We can see exactly what they did then and where we are today. Don't make decisions today that will put us in a situation 15 years from now where we'll look back and go, aha, that was the time.
Not sure if anybody's going to speak on the other ones, but 23 was the CY 2023 tax rate, personal property, and the real estate tax, countywide fire emergency levy. So if anybody else in the audience wishes to speak on 23, come on down now. If not, we will close the public hearing for number 23.